In this video we're going to look at how we can record a receipt from a customer that we deal with on credit terms. Well, where we've received some money from this type of customer, we'll go to our bank accounts module and we will then select the bank account that the money is going into. In this case it's the default account, just a normal current account for this business, and then I'll click on customer receipt. This opens up a little window where I can then allocate that amount against the right customer account and against the right invoices or credit notes. Over the left hand side I can change the bank account that the money is being paid into just by using the drop down list there, but that's alright, so I don't need to change that. Then in our customer details section I will record the customer who has paid the money. So let's say that George Curran has paid an amount of £1,050. So I'll select George Curran's account, and then in the receipt details I'll record the date of the receipt. So let's say that that was the 17th of the 1st 2017. I'll record the amount that was received, that's £1,050, and below this in the reference box I can record a reference for that receipt. That might be perhaps a paying in slip, or I might make a record that it was paid by Bax, for example. Now this £1,050, what I would then do is I would then see whether or not that amount is in respect of a specific amount that's outstanding. Now hopefully the customer would have sent a remittance slip with their payment which tells me which invoices are being paid. If that's not the case, then I'll have to work it out. Here, however, it's very clear. The £1,050 will be for the amount that was outstanding at the start of the month. So what I'll do is I will click on the receipt box here, and then because it's that amount is paid in full, I'll click on the pay in full icon. I've now allocated all of that £1,050 against the invoices that that are outstanding from this customer. So I can click on save. That receipt has now been recorded. I can now record other receipts. So in our next example, let's say that we've received £3,301.20 from Delphine Rare Metals Limited. So again, I'll make sure that I've got the right bank account. Then I'll select the appropriate customer account. In the receipt details, I'll record the date that this money was received. Let's say that's the 18th of the 1st, 2017, and the amount that was received. Now this was paid by cheque, so in the reference I'll put down cheque or something appropriate. Now we can see that that amount that was paid is not does not relate to just one invoice. It must relate to a number of them. Again, I check to see whether or not the customer has informed me as to which invoices are being paid with this amount, but if not, I'd have to work it out. Now I can tell that the amount refers to the first two invoices here, so the invoice for 2,100 and the second one for £1,201.20. So both of those invoices need to be recorded as having been paid in full. So I'll click on receipt for the first invoice, I'll pay that in full, and then for the second invoice I'll also pay in full. Now there's a running total down at the bottom right hand corner of the window which tells me how much money has been set against the invoices so far. And we can see that this actually matches the amount that has been received. So I've allocated all of that payment against the invoices as appropriate. So I'll now click on Save. The final example is where we are dealing with a payment that takes into account a credit note. So let's say that I've received £6,117.60 from our customer Reggie Harris. So the account, I'll select the appropriate account. The date, I'll record the date of the receipt, that was 22nd of the 1st, 2017. In the amount, I'll record the total that was received on that day from this customer. And in the reference, I'd record an appropriate reference, give me details as to how that amount was paid. We can then start looking at the outstanding amounts. And in this situation, the amount of £6,117.60 covers all of these amounts outstanding. If we just add that lot up, it comes to a different amount, but we've got to remember that that second entry in this line is actually a sales credit note, so that's actually reducing the amount that's outstanding. So we would have to allocate the money against all of these entries, but we've got to do so carefully. Where we've got a credit note to deal with, allocate the money against that one first. If we don't do that, we run the risk that we end up allocating our money incorrectly. So I'll record that credit note as being paid in full. I'll then record the other invoices as having been paid in full. I've done all of that, and we can see that the amounts that have been allocated against invoices and credit notes equals the amount that was actually received. So I can now click on Save. And if I can close that down, we will be able to see, if I go into my customers section, that the balances on those accounts have now been updated for the monies that have been received from those customers. And that's how we would record receipts from credit customers.